Tonight, it's Live with Vince Elliott. Live with Vince Elliott. Tonight on Live with Vince Elliott, closing out Breast Cancer Awareness Month with real talk about breast cancer. It's Tracey Spencer. She keeps it real. And keeping the show on track, co-host Erica Mack. Who's Mack? Let's get it.
I just like to let that beat hit for a second before I really get into it. Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? Yeah, you are watching another Tuesday Live with Vince Elliott. We are back. It's been a week already, and we are ready to have a good time. Yes, I am Vince Elliott.
And I am Erica Mack, and welcome back to another breezy Tuesday here in the greater Detroit area. For those who are not in the Detroit area,
we represent D-Town. Just put it out there. We represent the D.
Sucks
there
to
ain't
be
no
you.
shame.
Yeah.
You know.
You don't get to feel this chill.
Yeah. You got to have thick skin to live in the D in more ways than one. Welcome to another show. We want to welcome our viewers. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you who are faithful viewers, we appreciate you, faithful supporters. Get ready with your comments and your questions. But before we even get into what today's show is going to be about, Erica, people need to be reminded about some things. Can you tell them what it is?
Absolutely. Remember to go and subscribe to the Vince Elliott. That is the Vince Elliott on YouTube and all other social platforms. Make sure that you subscribe. Not only that you subscribe, that you share. Sharing is caring, and that you like. Make sure that you're liking so that you are always reminded that we are live at 7:55 every Tuesday.
That's right. And listen, today, we have a great show every week. Today is no exception. You know that this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's October, and we're almost done with the month. But before the month ends, we had to do a show about breast cancer awareness. But listen, it's going to be more than just, your typical statistics and all that type of stuff. Erica, let these people know.
We want to go ahead and make sure that we pay homage and just never forget, because of those who have fought, those who are fighting, and those who have overcome. And so that we wanted to make sure that we are sharing a story. And so we're going to share a story with one of our survivors, one of the greatest survivors that I know through the process. And hopefully that you're inspired, and that if you know someone going through, that you'll be able to inspire them. And her story inspires them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We talked about, if you look at the title, it says Breast Cancer Awareness Real Talk. So we're going to be talking about some things that you might not be expecting us to talk about. We're going to talk about, how do you deal with, people who may not be sensitive to what you're going through, and they just, out of their ignorance, say the wrong things. Or, what happens when you get that notification that you actually have breast cancer? Is it a death sentence? I mean, do you do what the doctors say? Do you go holistic? I mean, there's a lot to talk about. So it's going to be more than just, the fluff stuff. We're going to get into some real talk, because Tracey Spencer, she speaks her mind. She ain't no joke. I'm going to tell you that right now. In the meantime, Erica, how was your week?
My week. I had a good week. I don't think I did too much of anything of excitement. Bowling is actually, I'm in a struggle bucket right now, but it's okay. It's gonna get better.
So we want to hear those scores.
I'm like down 20 pins.
Down 20 pins over 3 games, or on an average? On
an average, like 20 pins a game. But that's all in making adjustments, because patterns change throughout the season. So making those adjustments to the lane patterns is always something different, because that means you might have to change a ball. You got to change where you stand. You got to change how you release the ball. So it's a lot of things that goes into that. But
you're talking like you know how to bowl. I'm gonna come out there and challenge you one day. We might do a live. We might do a live from the bowling alley so the people can see. So it won't be no lies. They can see what went down. But first, I'm gonna have to get my back together.
But how I got back into bowling was because of our guest today.
Is that right?
Yeah, she was an avid bowler before cancer. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. All right. So, without further ado, without further delay, y'all know what time it is. It's time for In Other News.
And now for news you may or may not be able to use. News other than Trump, COVID, or civil unrest. It's In Other News. Live from one of our remote studios, it's news anchor Erica Mack.
Good evening. Welcome back to another great Tuesday of In Other News. In other news, IKEA to buy back used furniture and recycling initiative.
Stop it.
So anybody who knows IKEA, if you don't know IKEA, we do have an IKEA store here in the greater Michigan area, but IKEA is a store where you buy furniture and none of it is put together.
Oh my goodness, listen. Okay, so let me just get all the facts first before I clown. All right.
Exactly. So let me finish.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
They're in an effort for recycling purposes and as they call it, the greenery, that people are not just throwing out their furniture, because most of the time, if you buy their furniture and you don't finish it, it just sits there. So to return it, you can't do that. So they're willing to accept it back. So what they're going to do starting what is called Black Friday, Friday after Thanksgiving, they're going to start giving out coupons, 50% of the original price, depending on the level, if it's the condition of the furniture, to customers, and that those coupons can go to reinvest in some more IKEA furniture.
So you realize that there's several things wrong with this story.
There's a whole lot wrong with it.
I've never heard in the history of furniture making people buying back the furniture because they don't want people, throwing the furniture out or, the waste or what have you. If your furniture is up to par, if it's quality furniture, it seems to me you wouldn't have this issue. Secondly, let me be careful here because I don't want to speak ill of the company to a degree that it may cause them to lose some customers, because we all know that I have a gazillion followers who hang on my every word, and they may stop shopping at IKEA. So that being said, I'll just go ahead. I will step over the line just a tad bit. I've purchased several pieces from IKEA at the direction of my wife. I do run the house, but she said she wanted IKEA furniture. We got IKEA furniture.
Right.
And, I've been known to say how the furniture, that's what makes me feel old, because I've been known to say how the furniture just is not like it was back in the day. Definitely. And so, it's interesting that they would be willing to take some back, because I got a few pieces here that I wouldn't mind donating to the cause.
I have a shelf downstairs that needs to go back.
I got a desk within almost arm's reach of the one where I'm sitting now, where I will be gladly donate to the cause. And then I wonder if they would give me a coupon to my favorite restaurant or something, because I don't want to get any more. I don't know. Maybe I can get a lamp or something from there. I don't know. But
you buy IKEA, you sign up for a 24/7 job.
Oh my goodness. I mean, when I first heard about IKEA, I'm like, so let me get this straight. I come buy the furniture from you. I might have to bring it home myself, or if you deliver it, but I got to put it together. I might as well go to Home Depot and or Lowe's or something and build my own. Anyway, okay.
So then we learned that we don't really care about paying the extra price in a regular furniture store for furniture that's already
exactly. Oh my!
You gotta call somebody to put theirs together. But yeah, So starting November 27th, if you have any furniture from IKEA that you would like to recycle, to be able to receive a coupon to repurchase more IKEA furniture.
I can promise you I will be there November 27th.
Dropping that.
Y'all take this. I'm sorry.
And they said that they would either recycle it or donate it to charity, depending on the condition of the furniture. So it's a good deed. Moving on.
Yes, please.
A homeless man left a donation at Oregon's Historical Society after it was damaged by rioters. So a homeless man left this donation, and he didn't have much. He gave what he had. And what made me really like this story was the fact that he thought enough to plant a seed. And even though his seed was $1 is what he had, but he said, I left that because he was homeless, and that they, not only, I said he was homeless, yes, he's homeless, but he said, I saw that your window was broken and I wanted to help.
Oh.
So,
you know what? But here's what you get out of that story. we talk about, how we need to improve, human relations and all that type of thing, and people need to give. Oftentimes, and I've been guilty of it myself, we think in big numbers, like, well, if I was rich, I'd do this, I'd do that. Or if I had, all this extra money, I would go and do this. A lot of times it's not about the money or the amount of money. Every little bit counts. I talk about that with the show. Even broke it down to where people give $1.25 a week, and we won't get into that. But, even that is not happening. But the thing is that this guy gave $1 and it made a difference. We can also give of our time, as well. So that was a great testament to humanity. Hats off to that guy, and I believe he will be blessed for his, giving of what he had, because what he gave might have been, who knows, that might have been 90% of what he had, or,
absolutely. Or more. And there's a story in the Bible about that, but yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so even the curator of the museum said that that donation was greater than the millions that they receive all the time in donations. So,
yeah. So, it's about the amount,
heart.
The amount the amount of sacrifice, really is what it's about.
Yeah.
So he gave a great sacrifice. Well, listen, I just want to remind you guys to comment, ask your questions, share, subscribe to The Vince Elliott, all those things. Do all of those things and get ready, because we're about to talk about a very serious topic, and we're going to talk about it in a way that you're probably not expecting. We're going to be with Tracey Spencer. She's going to be on shortly. We're going to take just a brief break. We want to say hello to our people who are chiming in the comments already. I'm noticing what's going on with that. They saying hello to Erica. Look at this. Aria is saying hello. Dawn is saying, hey, Erica. Well, I mean, this is the Vince Elliott show. What's up? Can a brother get some love? I mean, I'm just teasing, So apparently you brought your fan base today. They giving shouts out to Erica. It's all good. My feelings ain't hurt. I mean, that's all right. I don't need no attention. In the meantime, we'll be right back right after this short message. Hey, everybody, it's Vince Elliott. Thanking you guys for your support. Thank you for tuning in, watching live with Vince Elliott. Just want to take a moment out to say we appreciate you. We appreciate you subscribing. We appreciate you sharing with your family and friends. We want to continue to bring you content that's going to be helpful to you. We bring on experts, people who are knowledgeable in their fields of study, all different types of variety of shows, so that we can bring you something that's going to be great for your life, whether it's information, education, inspiration, motivation, or just a few laughs. So we want to continue to do that, but we need your help. And so what we're asking is that...
Hey! Oh. What's crack-a-lackin'?
Come on, man. We don't have time for this.
Oh, go ahead. What were you asking?
All right. If you must know, we're asking people to give $1.25 a week.
$1.25? Why so little?
Because times are hard. People don't have a lot of money. Some people are unemployed. So we're only asking for $1.25 a week.
Well, how many viewers do you have?
Well, it's, anywhere from 150 to 300 people that are watching live every week. And then with the replay throughout the week, we might sometimes go up over 1,000 people.
Oh, you know what this means, don't you? Huh?
Yeah, I know what it means. I just said what it means. It said times are hard. People are unemployed.
It means that your show sucks.
You know what? All right, that's it. Get out of here, little V.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, nothing, man. You can't be saying my show sucks. My show doesn't suck. We have a great show. People get value out of what we do.
Okay, if you have hundreds and sometimes over 1,000 people watching, they're going to give $1.25 in a week. Your show has to suck.
All right, that's it. I don't have time for this foolishness. I'm not putting up with this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry about little V. Listen, thank you for those of you who have supported. Thank you to those of you who will support. We got to get back to the show. I can't believe you, man.
You don't know nothing.
Get out of here. Let's get back to the show. Can't believe it. You know what? I'm tired of apologizing for Lil V. He is just constantly cutting up. Lil V, for those of you who don't know, is my alter ego. He's the voice in my head. Somehow he's found a way to make himself visible, and he's always telling me things that I really shouldn't be listening to, but he's hard to ignore. So everybody has their own version of Lil V. I'm waiting for the day where we see Lil Mac. That's the one I'm looking
for. Go right in, huh?
Yeah, I'm waiting for us to
right
see
in.
Little Mac. In the meantime, it's time to introduce my guest. So let's get right to that.
That is funny right there. Hey, Vince.
That would be hilarious. Anyway, let me get into it. Happily married and at the peak of her career with Detroit Public Schools, my guest tonight absolutely loved working with high school students. Then at the age of 49, she was diagnosed with stage 2 invasive inductive carcinoma, which understandably rocked her world. Life as she knew it had come to a screeching halt and would never be the same. She is currently in year 7 of survival, recently joined a support group called Taking Our Lives Back, which encourages and helps other women who are experiencing breast cancer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest tonight, Mrs. Tracey Spencer. Give it up for Oh, I'm sorry. I'm losing breath. People are cheering. You just don't hear them because they're, online. So we're going to figure out a way that you can hear them. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I am well, Vince. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, listen.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. So tonight, you have the responsibility, the weight of the world to represent Breast Cancer Awareness Month on Live with Vince Elliott, because we have discussed this topic with no one. And so you are the one that's going to be able to answer everybody's questions because you've gone through the experience, And the thing is, it's a very serious topic. We're laughing now, but we're able to laugh because we're celebrating the fact that you are a survivor. And so I want to give you a quick opportunity just to be able to say hello, whatever's on your heart to share and say with our viewers, and then we'll get into a litany of questions.
Okay, well, hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll have a few conversations about women and breast cancer awareness, your support groups. Just any questions you have, feel free. I will answer all of those questions. Thank you to my friend and my former coworker, Erica Mack, who coached me into doing this. I appreciate it, and I love to be an inspiration to any woman that I can.
Well, clearly, you got a fan base that you brought with you because they're already chiming in. Meredith, your cousin, and Linda, and Sonia. I mean, they are chiming in and saying hello and supporting. So that's great.
I have a fan base, Vince. I have fans.
I did.
Yeah, she does.
Apparently,
I have fans. I do. Yeah. I have more fans than the Lions. I have fans.
Whoa, wait a minute now. They just won 2 in a row. You got to give them their props now. But anyway, I digress. I digress.
Lions
Avid
tailgater.
Oh, is that right?
I do. I take the good with the bad.
Oh, well, you've taken a lot of bad recently.
I have. Yeah. Watch it.
That was incredible. That was an incredible comeback, though, on Sunday.
It was. My nerves were bad. I know.
Oh, man. Anyway, I love to start out, talking about, misconceptions of these different topics that we have from week to week. When you hear about breast cancer, there's some facts that we know of because it's been so widely publicized. There are some, stereotypes and things of that nature. But I don't want to, get ahead of ourselves and really start talking about some of the things that we know we're going to talk about further down the road. But just, maybe highlight a couple misconceptions or myths. And first of all, just so I'm clear, in case I didn't, make it clear earlier, Tracey, had stage 2, and I think I said that in the intro, cancer, and she is a survivor, and so she actually has experienced the horrific trauma of learning about that. So let's start with this instead of the myths. Why don't you just give us a highlight of your story and how from the beginning?
A very, very, very brief highlight is, as you said, I was at the height of my career at Detroit Public Schools. I loved my job. I loved everything that was going on in my life. Just all in a circle. Everything was great. My family, my husband, all was going well. And then one specific day, I felt the lump, and not quite sure what the lump was. I decided to go to the doctor and out of my worst fear, really not thinking, that can't be me. I'm just doing too much. And did the proper thing with making a doctor's appointment. Waited a couple weeks, and I was like, went to Las Vegas, had a vacation, came back, got my results, and then I received the news driving home one day, which was devastating. I really didn't know how to tell my husband. My mother-in-law had passed, excuse me, from breast cancer, so that was really hard to tell my husband. My sister had breast cancer, but we had not had any woman in the family to come down with breast cancer. So once again, that was devastating. And it's just a life-changing event. Life-changing, but not a death sentence.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can only imagine, I should say. And so had you felt, other than the lump, had you felt sick or, any signs that like something's really wrong other than the lump?
No, I was an avid bowler with a 300 game, I may add, Erica.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Please.
Let's throw that in.
Avid bowler, avid tailgater, avid Lions fan. I love to dance to house music. That was my life. Going out, being with my girls, being with my husband, being with family gatherings. I'm very family oriented. So it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot.
Yeah. Erica?
So one of the first things I guess I received, or at least heard you say, is the first thing that I think is most important of this is that you went about, and that you, as doctors always tell us, is that we must examine
Yes.
ourselves. And so, and part of her success, I heard you say, is because of your self-exam. So was that something that you practice on a regular?
Yes, because self-examination is a must. My sister is a nurse, and she stresses that with all of the women in the family. And she gives out a lot of paraphernalia that is centered around self-examination. So I did that frequently, especially knowing my sister had it. So I always did a self-breast exam. However, I had just had a mammogram, and it came back clear. My mammogram came back clear, but I felt just something. One of those days when you come in and be like, "Ooh, I got to take this off." And you all know what I mean when you say you got to take this off. And then that's how I found the lump, just absolutely through self-examination.
Well, let me just put this out there for the record. You all don't have to feel no kind of way with me being male. First of all, I grew up with 4 sisters and a mother. I mean, my father was there too. I'm just saying in terms of women, 4 sisters, a mother, and now I have a wife and a daughter. I've learned more about women in the last 53 years than I care to know. I've seen more than I can't unsee. So there's none of this that's going to shake or move me in any kind of way. So you talk away, and I'm already there. I already know.
Great. Just wanted to be politically correct.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So the next question, let's talk about, what are some of the, things that you see or hear that people who really don't get it, they sometimes speak out of ignorance. And just when I say ignorance, lack of knowledge.
I would say lack of knowledge, for lack of a better word. There are people that are ignorant to the fact that some of the things that happens during your transformation, during your breast cancer journey. You can't just walk, like you may turn dark, your fingernails turn dark. You can't really wear fingernail polish because it's toxic. Anything that's toxic cannot go into your body because you're already being having the chemotherapy infused. So they tell you that at the beginning of treatment. So there may be someone that might say, "Dang, Tracey, why your nails so dark?" Mm-hmm. And you have to find a way, literally without putting your feelings into it, to tell them, just shut up.
Right.
You don't really know
Right.
what's going on. Or I've gone through, your hair was so nice. Why'd you cut your hair? Well, I didn't cut my hair. I have cancer, if you really want to know. So you have to go there sometime, and then they feel small because it's a lot of ignorance, not just to cancer. There are ignorance to other illnesses. You know, there are people that are walking around with things that you would not know they had, such as lupus, myeloma, those things you don't know. And if a person starts to lose weight, it's always like, she looked so bad when I saw her. Girl, her hair, she used to have her hair done and her nails and stuff, and then her feet. She don't even be keeping herself up no more. That's my ghetto voice. I don't really have one, but I was trying to do. And to that extent, people don't understand. And if they're in your circle, they do understand. And it's a lot to take in, because it was a lot for my husband and I to take in. So it's going to be there. And everyone has to choose the way that they put it out there to the other person. I have some very choice words that are not allowed on this program here.
What is there? Maybe I should ask this way. Is there an appropriate way if you see a woman who, you know, major hair change or her nails, is it an appropriate way to address a person who's going through that, or B, you know, if so, what would that be? Or B, not say anything at all?
It would be mind your business.
It would be mind your business.
It would be mind your business. Mind your own business, because you don't have nothing to do with what's going on over here.
Right, right. Now, if it's a friend though, if it's a friend, you or should they wait for you to say something, or should they? I'm talking about this Ace Boone Coon. You gonna and they pull you to the side and say, "Hey, I'm starting to notice. You know, is everything okay?" I mean, would that be acceptable?
Well, here's the piece. If it's a friend, they're already going to know. My circle is very, very small. It consists of very few close friends. And the friends that knew were the friends that were with me through my journey, on top of my family. You know, family first. You know, my husband, my aunts came over every day. My godmother cooked for me every day. My cousins came over. My girlfriends came over. And then there were some friends that I had in my circle that I had to let go, let loose, as they say, period, because you didn't get it. It is not about you, because if someone is coming to visit me and you pack up your little things and you say, well, I'm about to go. Okay, bye. Because they're not here for you. It is not circled around you. I did not ask to get cancer. I did not ask for this to happen to me. So hence again, it is, if you're in my circle, you knew, and I did not have to tell you.
So with cancer and breast cancer as a whole, just bringing it kind of back, are there variations? I know you talked about your we made mention of your version of cancer, but are there different variations of it?
There are several variations of breast cancer. My sister is a better person to explain that, but she had to explain it to me. Therefore, I'm a little knowledgeable of some of the breast cancers that are out. I know that once it metastasizes, it can start one place and it can come back, meaning it's metastasizing all over your body. And those women are just living because they're on certain drugs that help them just to stay afloat. There will never be a cure, which there isn't a cure right now for it as we stand. However, I can go into remission. Women that had breast cancer and it has metastasized to the liver or something else, they don't have a chance to go into remission like I do. So when you say that, I had stage 2B invasive ductal carcinoma. My sister had in situ carcinoma, excuse me. There's a difference there, because the way to explain it is it's a nut in a shell. And within that shell, if it doesn't come out, then, it's like stage 0. But mine came out, which puts me at stage 2B. There are carcinomas for cancer where you will go in remission for a month, And I'm very happy. Sorry, I do not know the names of all of those, but I know the meanings of them when I hear them. So when I hear that, one of my cousins was just diagnosed with cancer, and I spoke with her at length, and I, gave her words of inspiration and gave her words of encouragement, because you can do it. You can overcome it. And it has to do with, the right food, the right family, the right prayer, everything. You have to talk to yourself and say, I'm not ready to go. And that's how I felt. God, this is not taking me, because once again, I love my students. I love my job. I love what I do. I was not ready to go. And right. I think that during my time with Detroit Public Schools, I was able to save a lot of students, from right. going down different paths. So I was not ready to go, and I'm still not ready to go. That's why I'm in year 7, still doing what I do.
Yeah. When you speak about people being insensitive, out of, for whatever reason, mostly because they should know better, but sometimes they just speak before they think. Talk about what people who haven't gone through it don't understand. There's a whole, it's more than just the physical. There's a whole emotional and mental component when you find out about this. Like you had indicated to us, when we spoke in pre-production, it was, as soon as you hear that, you think, oh my God, this is it. This is a death sentence. Talk about that emotional roller coaster that you go through.
It is a whole emotional roller coaster, because if you knew me, I got my hair done every week. It was always, it was always about my hair. When people become insensitive to certain things, you have to think, like, the first thing I thought was, I'm going to lose weight. I have not lost a pound. I'm just going to put that on out there. I have not lost a pound. I might have lost maybe 10, but that's because when you're going through chemo, you can't really eat because you have a lot of issues going on with chemo sores and things in your mouth, and it's hard. The emotional piece is, you've lost a piece of your anatomy. Will your husband look at you the same? If your prosthetic is one up and one down, is somebody going to say, what's wrong with her? Girl, what's wrong with your brow? And then you have to swallow, count to 10, and, not bash out. You have to just learn to play your own game. How are you going to deal with it? It's not about how anybody else deals with it, because it's all about you. But the emotional roller coaster part is, your husband has to see you when you're sick because you're nauseated. He has to see you when you have your mastectomy. And there are different things that you have to do after your mastectomy with the drain and all of that. I actually had a girlfriend that helped me with that. So he wasn't a part of that, because I already knew that was going to be very hard for him because of his mom. But once again, it's very emotional. And if you can join a support group, I would suggest that you do, because that helps a lot. And when I joined Taking Our Lives Back with my friend Nisi, who someone turned me on to her, and she does a remarkable job of putting calendars and things out every year with every woman's journey that they've had. So you need that. And sometimes you want to talk about it. You can become really emotional talking about it. So you have to grab someone that can give you that therapeutic out, if I may.
Ken, I'll ask this question. I'll let Erica get in there. I got a lot of questions.
Oh no, it's fine, because you took the route of a mastectomy, and I guess my question behind that is why. And my question for saying that is, just recently, for years, I never knew why my grandmother passed. I knew that she was in the hospital for whatever reason. She was in the hospital and pneumonia had set in and things like that, only to find out that it was breast cancer that she passed from. And then to later find out that it was because she chose not to have a mastectomy that she was gone. So my question to you was why? And here's the other thing about that is, like, there were no concrete evidence into it, but this past June, I had to bury my godmother. And in burying her, the lady at the funeral home showed me my grandmother's, at the cemetery, showed me my grandmother's death certificate. And so it was what is it? Carcinoma. It just said monocarcinoma. And so I was like, okay, so it was actually breast cancer that my family and no one in my family talked about. And, so to grow from that. And so I'm just asking, what was your decision to go ahead and have the mastectomy?
That decision came, first I spoke with my sister who had been through it and had been clear for well over 10 years by the time I got breast cancer. And with her knowledge of it and her knowledge of medicine, I was able to come to that conclusion after speaking with my husband. His mom had a mastectomy as well, but times have changed. That was like back in the 90s, and now this is 2013, and my mastectomy was in 2014. You make that decision because for me, it was, go ahead and take it. It wasn't even a question. Go ahead and take it because of where the tumors were. If it decides to come back, meaning it metastasizes to something else, I would rather it metastasize to the other breast as opposed to another organ. I do have another spot, but I'm not claiming that. I normally don't speak of that because I just know it's not coming back. It's just not coming back. So once again, the mastectomy was the best way for me. The doctor automatically indicated that. I had the top surgeons and oncologists from Detroit Medical Center in Commerce, and that's where I took all of my treatment. And still to this day, I really think those doctors were the greatest. The first thing I will tell a person is, please stay off of Google, because Google will have you dead and buried before your first surgery. So, and that's with anything, even right now, I go through things. I get a headache. I'm like, oh Lord, just spread to my brain.
Oh no.
A backache. Oh God, it's in my back. Right. I mean, I went through all of that. I mean, I wouldn't tell my husband, but I would just say that because you just don't know that first, second, third, fourth year. Those are trial periods because it can either stay away or come right back. So for me to be in year 7, and I think my sister is in year 15 or 16, somewhere in there, that's a blessing, a total blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mention, since we've been on the show, that my mother had a long battle. I mean, I shouldn't call it a long battle because it was gone, for quite some time, but it resurfaced, and it doesn't resurface with everybody. I don't want to put the wrong ideas out there, but she lost her battle in 2013. She too had to have the mastectomy, and looking back, as you talk about the emotional roller coaster, I know that contributed to a lot of the anger my mother would express, to the family through situations, things like that. It was not always what was going on. It was a combination of things that she was going through in her life, and that being, primary, one of the primary things. So, I got a chance to see that up close and personal with my mom.
You actually go through things because I'm a very active person.
Yeah.
I'm very active. So you go through things, whereas after you have your chemotherapy, I was one to drive myself to chemotherapy. I did not want my husband to take off work. I was trying to be very independent with it, and not put too many people in it. But, you have friends that just don't let you go through that. And you do have those friends that you're close to, and that's my dog. And I know she'll be here for me, that we're not. And I'm not ashamed to say that. And then this is live, and I have a lot of friends listening. There were several people that I would have chemotherapy. You don't know how I'm feeling. And I'm not saying somebody has to call you every day, but if you call me your friend, then I'm your friend, and you check, because it's just detrimental to go through that and hear someone that you see and talk to every single day, or you pal around with every single day, and then you don't talk to them because they're going through these circumstances over here. And as I said, you have to pick and choose your battles. Those are not battles I was trying to choose. So I'll see you later. It was nice talking to you because I don't really need to talk to you. So your attitude is with that. You have to develop your own attitude because your attitude constitutes your altitude. And I believe that, whatever your attitude is, it constitutes your altitude. You're going to go far or you're going to fail. So I had to keep that in mind.
Well, if you're just joining us, our guest tonight is Tracey Spencer. She is a breast cancer survivor, and she's been talking to us about breast cancer awareness, what you need to know, and we just scratched the surface. So when we come back, we're going to get to your questions. Some of you already have put questions in the comment section, and she's going to do her best to answer from her perspective. We'll chop it up. We'll get some insight from her. We may get some insight from you. Who knows? And then we will also touch on this whole notion of, should you do the chemo? Should you go holistic? What is the deal with finding a cure? I mean, we've been trying to find a cure for well over 40 years now. Is that something you should be giving to? Is it just going to take one more dollar? Is this a money-making business machine? I mean, there's people very sensitive about this argument, but we're going to have this debate, and it's coming up soon, right after this. Hey everybody, it's Vince Elliott. Thanking you guys for your support. Thank you for tuning in, watching Live with Vince Elliott. Just want to take a moment out to say we appreciate you. We appreciate you subscribing. We appreciate you sharing with your family and friends. We want to continue to bring you content that's going to be helpful to you. We bring on experts, people who are knowledgeable in their fields of study, all different types of variety of shows so that we can bring you something that's going to be great for your life, whether it's information, education, inspiration, motivation, or just a few laughs. So we want to continue to do that, but we need your help. And so what we're asking is that...
Hey!
Oh.
What's crack-a-lackin'?
Come on, man. We don't have time for this.
Oh, go ahead. What were you asking?
All right. If you must know, we're asking people to give $1.25 a week.
$1.25? Why so little?
Because times are hard. People don't have a lot of money. Some people are unemployed. So we're only asking for $1.25 a week.
Well, how many viewers do you have?
Well, it's, anywhere from 150 to 300 people that are watching live every week. And then with the replay throughout the week, we might sometimes go over 1,000 people.
Oh, you know what this means, don't you? Huh?
Yeah, I know what it means. I just said what it means. I said times are hard. People are unemployed.
It means that your show sucks.
You know what? All right, that's it. Get out of here, little V.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, nothing, man. You can't be saying my show sucks. My show doesn't suck. We have a great show. People get value out of what we do.
Okay, if you have hundreds and sometimes over 1,000 people watching, they're going to give $1.25 in a week. Your show has to suck.
All right, that's it. I don't have time for this foolishness. I'm not putting up with this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry about little V. Listen, thank you for those of you who have supported. Thank you to those of you who will support. We got to get back to the show. I can't believe you, man.
You don't know nothing.
Get out of here. Let's get back to the show. Can't believe it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by little V, is that we need your support. We believe that what we're doing is a very much needed outlet. There's not, to my knowledge, a lot of live streaming shows that are doing exactly what we're doing. I'm not saying that there aren't any. I know that of one in particular that has great content. Their content is usually a little more political, civil unrest, things of that nature. My buddies over there, I can't even call the name of the show, but they're doing a great job. At any rate, our show is about information, education, inspiration, motivation, and yes, we do try to have some laughs as an outlet. We got to be able to laugh, man. We gotta laugh. There's a lot of crazy things going on in this world. So we're asking that you do whatever it is that you can do to support this show. The Cash App information is right there on the screen. $ live with Vince Elliott. 1L, 1T in Elliott, so that your funds get routed to the appropriate place. And we promise that we will use those funds with integrity. Yes, it costs money to run this show, and we want to be around for a while, so we can use your support. And don't think that any amount is too small. And like we always like to say, Erica, what?
What?
No amount is
too small.
big. Too big. No amount's too big, Erica.
That too.
Come on, get with the program.
I'm like, wait. I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Stay with me. Stay with me. And let's get back to the topic at hand. My guest today is Tracey Spencer, survivor of cancer, and we're celebrating her survival of cancer, but we're also giving you some key information about breast cancer awareness. Yes, you know this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so we are creating that awareness, but we're doing a little bit of this conversation. You know, we're approaching it from a different angle because I think there's things that people need to be aware of that they may not be. You can be very insulting. You can scar relationships or ruin relationships by just going like, what happened to your hair? Ooh, I don't even know why you cut it. And you're like, I didn't cut my hair. I have a illness going on that I'm dealing with. That's the end of our relationship. Thank you very much. You know, so I want to get right back into this and
let's jump in with Meredith's
question. Let's do that.
So Meredith says, how important was your spiritual walk during this time? Did you ever get angry?
Your spiritual walk.
Your spiritual walk.
Yeah. I get it. My spiritual walk. I knew that. It's how you said it, Erica.
Yeah.
Meredith, to answer your question, it is very important to stay close with God in your own spirituality. As I was saying before, you can't allow people into your head and to say things to you that are going to harm or hurt you. I never got angry at certain comments, but yes, I was angry. First, I was angry because I had cancer. And then I had to sit back and reevaluate my life, reevaluate things that had gone on. Look, moving forward, spirituality plays a huge part in your recovery. Yes, we all pray. You have prayer warriors. Everybody that prays for you should not be praying for you. And I believe that too, because we do have people that, you know, pray for the wrong thing. I can't stand her. That's why she got cancer. There are people that say things like that, which is very, they won't say it to you.
Wow.
She thinks she all of that with her bougie self. You know, she can't. That's how she is. Once again, your spirituality plays a huge part in your survival. And
you said something earlier that I just want to, shine a light on. You were talking about the words that come out of your mouth. Mm-hmm. Now, on this show, we don't apologize for what our belief system is in our faith. We are definitely followers of Christ. We are Christians who have a talk show. It's not a Christian talk show. It's a talk show that's hosted by Christians. And so we don't browbeat people over the head with our belief system, but we stand firm in it. And one thing that we believe is that your words have power. It's all throughout Scripture, and we won't get into a theological, debate or exegesis or whatever the terms are, for my theologians. But the thing is that, it's not about you doing magic and saying, I want $1 million, poof, or anything like that. But understand that your words have power. And so, like you said, you had to get to the place where you stop saying, oh, it's in my back, I'm about to die. Oh, I think it's in my head, or things like that, and start speaking what you wanted, because you recognize, I'm just going to jump off of that because I was just about to start talking about, Jesus speaking things into existence, and he was telling us that we should do great things that, but I'm not getting into it. So
you just ask for complete healing.
Yes.
You ask the Lord for complete healing, and Lord, continue to heal me daily as I run this race or I take this journey, the spiritual journey as well. You just ask, and you have to ask. I mean, if you don't ask, I could have laid in the bed every day and been like, I just don't feel like getting up. I remained active.
Mm-hmm.
I remained
active, right? Yeah.
Active. The only time I was not active were the 2 weeks that I would go through chemo and I would be flat on my back. But I remained active and tried to stay active. Even though I still didn't lose a pound, but I was still active.
Here's the thing that gets me. Even if you don't believe in your words have power and all of that type of thing, what is so important about speaking the negative? Why, some people, they may not look at it from a spiritual standpoint. They just, or from a biblical standpoint, they look at it as, people say, I'm not going to put that out in the universe. I'm not going to put that, At the very least, why is it so important to talk about the negative? If you don't believe it, at least, if I didn't believe it, I would at least try something that is that has a chance at being positive. Why speak the negative? It's of no consequences. It does you no good. So I want to move to the next question here. Sonia Payton, says, my mother passed away in 2012 of breast cancer. Are there any suggestions you would give to me other than staying on top of mammograms and self-examinations on a regular basis?
Good evening, Sonia, and thank you for your question. What I would do is have I believe it's called the BRCA test, and that will let you know if you are, if your genes, it's a gene test that will let you know if you have the genes that your mom had, or you have what it takes to, not what it takes, excuse me. You have that in your genetic family that you can acquire breast cancer. So I would definitely ask my doctor about that.
Do doctors with insurance offer that, or is that something that you pay for separately?
That's tricky because because her mom had it, or Sonia, because your mom had it, you can definitely talk to your OBGYN about that, who can send you to an oncologist. But there's an actual place in the Komen Center that you can also call, and they will tell you about the gene testing so that you'll know where you stand with that. And that's a very important test, because after I finished radiation, they were asking, did I want to take the test? And I said, that's funny you asked me now because I've already had the cancer.
Right.
So yes, I've
backwards.
already had the cancer. So you should have asked me that prior to, because my sister had it way before me. My mom died from multiple myeloma, which is not breast cancer, but I could have just had a cancer gene. So that genetic test, once you found out my mom had cancer, then you should have said, let me run a genetic test. But yes, Sonia, genetic testing is out there, and that's what you should look into.
Do men have breast cancer?
Yes. Richard Roundtree had breast cancer. And why do I know? Because that was my main man from Shaft. Yes, he had breast cancer.
Who is the man? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to go to something that I mentioned going into the break that, may be debatable, may be controversial, but I want to put it out there for discussion. So you go to the grocery store, and they got the cans out. Do you want to donate $1 to breast cancer? You got the breast cancer awareness walks, and you got the fundraisers all across the country and across the world. And the premise for most, if not all of them, is we need to raise money so that we can come up with a cure for breast cancer. From what I've understood, they're not saying we need money so that we can treat more people and give them chemotherapy and all of that. They're saying we want to kill this whole thing so that people don't have to deal with cancer anymore. And we want to come up with a cure. Now, I'm going to put this out there, and then I'm going to let you respond and give me your thoughts on it. Keep in mind, folks, before you send any hate mail, that I am, my mother left here because of breast cancer, so I'm very sensitive to the subject. That being said, what are your thoughts about the fact that it's been well over 40 years, if not closer to 50 years, since they've been raising money about to cure cancer?
Well, here's the piece on that one. Just a few weeks ago, as I not mention any names, someone came on live TV and fabricated that there was a cure for COVID, and that the Eli Lilly company, as well as Johnson & Johnson, had a fix for that. And I feel the same way about breast cancer cures. I walk the walks, I donate, but I also, in the back of my mind, look at the fabrication and a lot of it, because my grandfather died from cancer in the 70s. So it's probably been before that. So if you've been looking for a cure for all of this time, and we don't have it yet, and there are a quadrillion, if that's even a number,
right,
people walking in Race for the Cure and every other breast cancer event that there is. I know that I buy a t-shirt. I participate in the Pistons, the Lions, everybody, the Tigers. My friends have gone with me to those events, and you still don't have a cure. I know people that have donated to me. My friend Nisi, she donates all of the proceeds to Susan G. Komen. And I'm not quite understanding is, how does all of this money gets brought into you, but nobody's finding anything, not even a little bit of a cure, you know, and the fabrications behind it, that's my view. They may not be fabricated, but I think that they are. And again, someone did tell me that they don't donate to that. I stand corrected. My friend doesn't donate to that because it's a lot of rhetoric. You know, you don't know where that money is going, because it's not anymore. It's not just us. You know, there are several people that prostate cancer, all the cancers that are out. And if you see these pictures, you see these are all of my friends that have supported me over my breast cancer journey. My family, everybody, my husband, and you just can't keep giving because you're not seeing any of this. Because if there's hope, and they keep saying there is hope. Yeah, because everybody's giving you money. So where's the money actually going? So no one has actually sat down to see where the breast cancer money is going, like an audit. You know, audit the breast cancer money. Because clearly, it's not going to where it needs to go.
Well, I would feel confident in saying that now more than ever, the integrity of our government is at an all-time high in terms of being questionable.
I would say that too. And,
you know, when you look at institutions like the FDA, the government, the pharmaceuticals. I mean, you look and you see that all of these institutions that we depend on are making billions and billions and sometimes even trillions of dollars. And so, from a logical standpoint, why would you come up with a cure for cancer when you have large hospitals dedicated to cancer where hundreds in one location, thousands probably, of doctors, nurses, every position that's in that hospital, families are being fed, kids are being sent through college, cars, homes are being paid for. All of this is happening because there's no cure for cancer. So now if you cure the cancer, then we can start tearing down these buildings and putting up some parks or some schools or something. Why would you tear down something that has made you billions of dollars over the years when, hey, let's not mess up this good thing. You know, my great grandkids still got to go to college now. Let's not get it too ahead of ourselves. You know.
And going with that, no, it's absolutely along those lines. You know, they're building more centers and things like that. Mm-hmm. But also when we talk about and what we ingest, you know, the food, and you talk about the FDA, mm-hmm. that a lot of this is because of our food and what they allow in our food. It has not necessarily something to do with the fact that we all carry cancer cells, but the fact that what they put in our food make them overactive in our bodies. And so that's
there are several places where breast cancer patients can ask for assistance. I know Ford Cares is one where, and I will tell you a brief story. When I was off, I was lucky enough to have disability insurance. So I still had my regular paycheck as well as my disability insurance. But the Ford Cares wanted you to give your first, last, second, third, fourth, fifth born child your tax returns. If you are helping someone, it should not matter how much money they make, because that program, they give you the social worker at the hospital, like, oh, well, they'll pay your car note. Oh, they will pay your insurance or your mortgage. But in order to do that, you have to jump through all of these hoops, all while going through treatment in order to get the $4 or $5 little dollars that they're going to give you. And it's almost like dehumanizing and humiliating yourself, because it's like you're begging them, but you have all of these sources that are giving you money because of the walks and the UAW, they do things, the hospitals do things. I'm just not quite understanding that these ladies that are less off than myself or any other woman that can't afford things, they have the BCCP. However, every woman does not have the resources to get what they need. And then when they get them, they have the people telling you, well, you're not approved. How can you not be approved?
Right. You should automatically, yeah, definitely. You've been given a diagnosis. I'm approved.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I never could understand that. And that's a big gripe that I have with that, and that's a bigger piece. People say, but you had cancer. Why you don't give? Because it's not benefiting the women that have it. And if it is, I would like to see that, or see proof that it is benefiting. And they will say, oh, the Lions passed out all of this stuff at Henry Ford Hospital. What's a blanket?
Right.
What's a blanket to somebody who is behind 3 months in their car note?
Right.
What's a teddy bear? I get it. They have the dogs, the teddy bears, all of the things that to cheer you up. Meanwhile, you could be getting set out of your house, and it's on you can go on any station during breast cancer awareness, and it's always somebody that they're giving to, but it's not the people that I have seen. And I'm not saying that they don't, but I have not seen them give to a woman who's got 3 kids, single parent, going through breast cancer, lost her job. What can you do for her?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I was just about to go to that. How often should you get a mammogram? Should you wait until you feel something in your breast, per Tanisha?
Well, good evening, Tanisha, and thank you for your question. You should have a mammogram every year. They're trying to change the law where women have mammograms, I think, at 40, and it's getting they're trying to pass something where you can get it, early, because if you come up from a family of women that have breast cancer, you should actually start getting tested early. There are teenagers that have died from breast cancer. Yes. There are 20-year-olds that have died from breast cancer, but yet the government and these insurance companies are not allowing mammograms for those women. And you will never know. And unfortunately, sometimes by the time you have your mammogram, you are at stage 4. And that's, not saying some women haven't gone into remission from stage 4, but also it's the kind of cancer that you have. All cancers can't be stage 4 and you make it back. You should definitely keep up on your mammograms. I keep up on my mammogram because it's easier for me now because I only have to do 1. So, before I had to do 2, it's much easier. I just have to do 1. And so I'm in and out.
Erica, this is a serious topic. He gonna break out
I don't like her right now. But go ahead.
You should keep going,
She said it with a straight face.
Yes.
If you feel something, make sure. Something, you have to laugh. And for your sanity, Meredith asked about your spirituality. You have to laugh and not be woe is me, and if you don't laugh and keep your spirits up, you'll be deader than a doorknob.
Yeah.
It'd take you right on up out of here. And I wasn't ready to go up out of here. With that being said, I'm going to wish my husband a happy 20th wedding anniversary. This tomorrow. And I could have been gone 7 years ago. He would have been here and somebody else would have been in this house with him. No. No.
Somebody else.
No, I got nice clothes and rings and things, and no,
Oh
ain't nobody
my
wearing
goodness! See, I told y'all real talk. This was going to be real talk. I want to jump back before we get to the next question, and I just want to touch on something. I'm going to stir the pot and throw a little another ingredient in there real quick. Depending on how you feel about this, you feel about it. I don't know what else to say, but many of you have heard the name Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi, if you're not sure who he is, Google him. Sebi. And the thing is that some people, they believe in what he said and talked about, which was basically he came out and said there's a cure for every disease, and it's through natural things. And so he had done his research, and according to him, he had done his research and put all these different natural things into a pill. He said, I can cure cancer, herpes, all down the line, you name it. Yep. He was dragged into court. Now, this is factual. He was dragged into court. And, because they don't like you saying those type of things, you messing with their money. Yeah, and they say, if you can produce one person, I think you need to produce like 7 people or 9 people or something like that for each disease. And he came in there with like an overwhelming number, like 70 people or something like that, right, who had testified and had factual proof that I was diagnosed with this. And here's the proof that I no longer have it. And so he won his case. Now, here's the point for me mentioning that. Ironically, this man shortly, I don't know if it's shortly, some years after, ended up dying from a disease. Now, you can say, well, that discredits him, or you can say they did that so that they could discredit him. And here's another thing that you at least need to think about. A very popular hip-hop artist, many of you may have heard, by the name of Left Eye, went to see him. Went to spend time with him years ago before she passed, and she had been cured. I forgot of what it was, but she had been cured after spending, I think, some months over where he was in Africa. And when she got online, she was like, listen, I'm about to tell, because she was very popular during those times, she was like, I'm about to tell everybody about this. Everybody needs to know about this. And before she could make it back, she somehow got ran off the road, or had a car accident and flipped off of a cliff.
Yep.
Really? All of this is coincidental? Folks, you need to be able to make your own decision. Obviously, you can tell what side of the fence I'm on. But the thing is that you got to be able to understand that this is a money-making machine. And the last thing I'll say is, as it relates to COVID and this as well, we're not saying, at least I'm not saying that these things are not true. I'm not saying they're a hoax. These are real diseases. These are real things. What I'm saying is that people are being manipulated through fear and false information and lack of integrity. And there are those who are in power and position that are using this to their advantage, and they're also perpetrating the increase or the lack of a cure. So I'm getting off of that. That's my 2 cents. Let's get back to some of the comments and the questions there.
So, where are you going to go? Is that a question? No, it's a comment, and that's fine. It says, this is why I started my nonprofit, so that I can assist women and their families. And this is the lady whose group you're in, correct?
Absolutely.
Niecy Johnson. Yes. So thank you for your comment. If you're not employed and receiving active treatment and I have funds available, you are approved. It bumps me up to hear that an organization that has us. Yeah, burns me up. Did I say that?
You said bums, but anyway.
Burns me, organization that has thousands of dollars denying someone assistance. Absolutely. I totally agree on that. Thank you for that. Question. Are there products that you used to use before you're diagnosed that you do not use now?
As products meaning?
On your skin and your body, things that you may eat or may not eat?
Yes. I still wear the most exclusive perfumes because that's just me. That's how I am.
Do you put it on your skin or do you just put it on your clothes?
No, no, because you should never put perfume on your clothes. I do. I put it on my skin, and you have to change your diet. I'm a baconator, love bacon. I, switched to turkey bacon. I changed some things in my diet that I just won't eat anymore or eat occasionally. Red meat, I do not eat red meat often. And it's getting to be where I've recently on the real tip looked into the vegan diet, because I've seen people have it. And recently I've been speaking to one of my friends that is a vegan. Now, some things I'm just not able to get with. So
Right.
it's baby steps for me, because it was baby steps for me to get rid of bacon. And I don't eat a lot of pork. So
Are you not eating any bacon?
no, I have turkey bacon.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
but
Okay.
there's a special turkey bacon that I eat, not the one that looks like really fake, that's like by Play School that the kids play with. No, it's actual turkey bacon I buy from Sam's. It's pretty good.
Right.
So it's it doesn't, bacon, sometimes you just gotta have a piece of bacon. And if
Right.
that's the case, that's
Gotta
fine.
have it.
But not to eat like 10 and 12 pieces at a time. And, just some things in your diet you want to get rid of, because you don't know what. I look at me like, what caused me to have cancer? I was healthy.
Right.
How could I just get breast cancer? Where did that come from? And I never felt sick, never felt tired, never felt having any issues with anything other than the lump that I felt. However, once I finished radiation, the very last day, I was not feeling that great. And my husband took me out to celebrate, and I had a heart attack at the table.
Wow.
So, it does a lot to your body. You can't tell me I had a heart attack, but they said that. And matter of fact, we got in the ambulance. I had a really nice tiger shirt, and the guy gets the scissors, and he's like, "Oh," I said, hey, well, no, you will not. Nope, I can take it off. That's what makes me think, okay, it's some complications I may have had. But once they read the EKG, it was like, oh, well, right here you had a mild heart attack. And I was like, what? So, of course, more money. My treatment was well over $1 million. They include that and the ambulance ride, that's another. So hence again.
Yeah. Okay. Princess.
Yes.
Lynette
What
Rice.
about alcohol?
Thank you for your comment. There's always one. There's always one.
Can you get your drink on?
I will be truthful. Yes, I continue to drink. I probably should not have. And I think that's why I'm still here, because I just kept doing whatever I wanted to do. I did not stop drinking.
Did we give our disclaimer? I don't think we gave a disclaimer.
No.
First of all, let me pause for a second. Let me just jump on in here. I think this is an appropriate time. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not have a medical professional on this show. We do not have a holistic certified doctor on this show. Everything that you hear are views and these are the views and opinions of the individuals that you hear talking, and it is no way meant to be medical advice or any type of legal advice. And so we are under no obligation, no legal position to give you advice. If you take the advice or suggestions or things that you've heard that these people are doing or have done, then you are on your own. Live with Vince Elliott, its associates, affiliates, me, or anybody else that you see on the show will not be responsible for actions that you take as a result of what you heard on this show. Thank you.
And absolutely. And we always suggest that you follow up with your doctors if you have any concerns, or look to these websites that we posted in the comments as well, that we scrolled across the screen, for any extra assistance or support.
Please seek your doctor for medical
Absolutely.
advice.
But a little wine didn't hurt.
And that's your opinion. Yeah.
That is my opinion.
Yeah.
I will say that is my opinion, and I am entitled to.
Right, exactly.
And I will say it didn't hurt.
Jacqueline Moore, did I say that right? Excuse me. She was responding to the diet piece. Says, I also think you have to make a lifestyle change. Cancer cells do thrive on certain foods, especially processed foods.
I would definitely agree. Processed foods, during your treatment, they tell you should not have any processed foods. Since cancer, I very rarely, I can count the times that I eat fast foods. I do not even play, and I used to love McDonald's fries. I don't even play with them anymore.
Oh my goodness.
So processed foods is a no-no. Processed meat, all the lunch meats and things that I have, they're actually from the butcher, and they're actually sliced. That during that time, he said the doctors, oncologists would tell you, do not buy packaged lunch meat, which at some point, mostly everything is processed.
Mm-hmm.
You basically just got to eat air to stay alive.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel right now. I drink tons of water. That's why my skin is so clear and the way I look the way I do, because I drink tons of water and I keep up, and I keep my teeth. When I was going through treatment, I was wondering, chemo does a lot. It's a lot on the body. It's a lot. So different things, you have to take precautions. Like Erica said, you have a special deodorant that you have to use. You have special things you have to do. And I was definitely worried about my teeth, because my teeth are my teeth. All 32.
Oh, wow. 32. Okay. Well, I'm somewhere close. I think I got about 26 of them. I don't know.
Those didn't come in.
I can purchase 6 more if I need to. I don't know how many I got. I don't even want to count. Mogul Millions, she says, any particular type of deodorant you use, if any at all? I hope she used some deodorant.
Now, see, you know what? Yes, when you go for your radiation, they give you a special deodorant that you must use. You can no longer use what you used. Radiation is a whole different spiel. You can't. The one that they give you is specifically for breast cancer patients, and your oncologist will give you a list of them, what to use and what not to use. So that's something that was given to me through Carmanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a few more comments and things we want to get to and questions, but I just want to pause right here. I just felt really strongly that this content is so valuable. This information is going to help not only the people who are live watching now, but the people who see it in a replay. And I just felt like this is the time that I need to stress the point. I'm going to put a challenge out there. So we don't know how many people we got watching right now. I mean, when you look at the live thing, it's not indicative of how many people are actually watching. That only registers the people who are actually like in the comments or something like that. It doesn't register the people who are actually clicked on the audio, because what you'll find is immediately after the show, we go check to see how many people watch, and it might be 200-300 that watch live, but we may only see 20 on the screen at a time. So let's just assume that there's 150, 200 people watching. I'm going to challenge to get at least 10 people. I know times are hard. I know that, we're in the quarantine. Some people just can't do anything. I want at least 10 people to send $10 to support this show tonight on the Cash App. So I'm asking my producer to put the Cash App information up on the screen. And the reason why is not so we can line our pockets. We don't even have pockets virtually, for the sake of this show and the type of money we bring in. We don't even have enough for pockets yet. Right now, we're just bleeding money out, but we need your support because we want to keep bringing this type of information. I'm looking at all the comments. I'm looking at all the questions. I'm seeing women are being, helped and supportive and blessed by what we're doing. I'm challenging 10 people. We're going to probably be going off the air within the next 5 or 6 minutes, to pick up your phone, pick up your Cash App right now, go to $live with Vince Elliott, as you see it there on the screen, 1L, 1T, and Elliott, and give $10. 10 people, $10 is $100. That'll help pay for subscriptions. That'll help pay for a lot of things that we do to keep this show going. We put a lot of work behind the scenes to make this show possible. And if you notice, one thing about this show is we try to give you great production value. We give you, our lighting, our sound, all of those things play into what you see and what you hear. And we think our show stands out in terms of technology being sound, in terms of the way we deliver and everything, and plus the content above many others. So that being said, 10 people, $10. If you can do that before the end of this show within the next 5 to 10 minutes, it would be so appreciated. We thank you in advance. So all that being said, let's get back to some of these comments, Erica.
Let's see here. Mogul Millions had made a comment and said, negative emotions can open the door for cancer, bitterness, unforgiveness, and etc. And so I don't know if any of that played into your story, but do you find that in other women?
Absolutely.
Or that you've gone to?
It did not play into my story because if there's something that you have to forgive a person to see the kingdom. So I'm not trying to not see the kingdom with all those double negatives. That I'm going to say it just that way. I can speak well, but I'm just trying not to not see the kingdom.
Right.
So forgiveness, definitely. If somebody's doing something to you, you just have to let it go and sign them off. Boy back. Just boy back, girl back. Again, just what you're doing to yourself is making yourself sicker, because you want to definitely limit anything that's bringing you down, stress related. It could be your husband. That's why I don't see how some people are able to go to work. But if you have to go to work, you have to go to work. You might be the only breadwinner. So I get that. In my case, I did not have to go to work. But again, keep your stress level down. Any friends that's not friends, let them go, because it's very easy to fall in that rut, and you don't want to do that. You don't.
Yeah.
There's a few more comments in here I want to get to as well. Let's see. Negative emotions can open the door for cancer, but yeah, we just said that one. Let's see. If people want to reach out to get more information, or to maybe the group to be encouraged, is there a way? What do you recommend? Should they reach out to you in some way? Should they reach out to the organization? What is your call to action?
They can call Erica, because Erica called me.
I love it. Thank you for the response. However, Tracey Johnson, which is the curator of the organization that you're a part of, she is commenting actually in the comments. So
Absolutely.
She did post the website in the comment area for those who are interested in getting involved with the group. What's it called? The Don't Leave Each Other Behind. I'm sorry. I know. I just want to
taking our lives back. I'm taking your lives back. You got me messing up, and then she got me looking at me like, well, Tracey, actually, I was going to use Nisi, because that is a great support group. They have a Facebook page. You feeling down? They say prayers, and they lift you up. When you are so many years cancer free, it could be a month cancer free, and she'll always congratulate you. You need things like that to keep you uplifted, And at one point, I will say this: during breast cancer, I didn't go to church, but I continued to pray. And as I felt better, I started going to church. But, at that time, they had taken my name off the roll at the church. And I was, because I hadn't been. So I was like, My mother always told me, you just don't want to be buried out the funeral home, Tracey. So you better keep your name on the roll. So hence again, I rejoined my church. And even though everything is viral, I go pay my tithes. I do everything that the Lord has asked us to do as people on this earth. So I can keep going and I can keep moving. And yes, God is a huge part of my life. And you want to keep saying that, but Erica look like, for real?
No, I was just gonna say I would give her word and send things to her and always encourage as well, because I'll be like, well, you gotta have some church. I'm sorry, but not just me, but other people around. But I would always make sure that I was sending something to her.
Erica had me playing church tunes in my office every day. She'd come in, and if I had on another station, she'd be like, well, why you got that on? And she come in, and Fred Hammond was playing. She's jumping all over the place. I said, well, I'm about to turn that off. No, leave that playing. So Erica was a huge part of huge part of my support system. And I can't say that enough. Some of my friends were, but my family, they were just always there, especially my godmother. Oh, Lord rest her soul. I know she's looking down at this. She cooked, and do I need to come over there and do something? And, my aunts, my cousins, everybody was there. Having that takes a lot of stress off of you, because there are some people that go through breast cancer alone, and that's stressful in itself. So many people have other issues. But me being a completely healthy person, my oncologist said, you are a healthy 49-year-old woman. I know. So, right. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have an age.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. If there was anything that you could do different, or would you do anything different now that you've gone through the process? I probably...
because I was always thinking that because my husband and I were like passing through the night. He'd go to work, I go to work.
Right.
I would change that. I would change us doing more date nights than we did because he's working overtime. I'm working at the school. I don't get home till 8. He doesn't get home until 8. And that's too late to eat. You eat, you go to sleep, and then you get up the next morning. It's routine. So you have to change that, in order to stay on the right track, I think. And I think I would change that. I've always been family oriented, so I was always with my family, but I would change more so the time you spend with your spouse, because working, you can't take it with you, which is exactly why I felt I was going to get better, because I'm wearing my own jewelry and my own clothes. No one else is.
Exactly.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for viewing Live with Vince Elliott. Thank you to our guest, Tracey Spencer, who is not your average cancer survivor, ladies and gentlemen. She is one for the record books. And this whole 300 deal, I hope you can get back to your 300 days, because I want to see you and Erica bowl. And then, if I can get my skills back to where they should be, maybe I'll compete.
You better not say that, Vince. I might get this practice, and me and Erica have to take you down.
Oh, see, now you don't know who you're talking to. I'm very, very competitive. Do not get me started. I am on a 12-step de-competitive program. I will compete against somebody in jacks, tiddlywinks, pixie sticks. It don't matter. You don't want none. It don't matter. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our show. Tracey, if you would be so kind as to stick around backstage just for a couple minutes, we want to sign off, and we really, really appreciate you, all the information that you gave. You are a source of encouragement. You have given so much wealth of information to the ladies that have been watching today, primarily ladies. I think we had an all-female audience today, at least for those who commented. And and so, once again, we appreciate you. We would be remiss if we did not say that
thank you for the opportunity.
You took care of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month topic, because we didn't talk about this with anybody else, so you had to be the go-to expert.
I see.
So,
thank you.
We'll see you backstage momentarily. Eric and I will close out the show, and we'll see you in a moment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute. I don't like being on that side. There we go. Wait, what? Put me back. Okay, now I like being on that side. That's the right side. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for today. Well, listen, I'm still putting that challenge out there. I'm looking for 10 people. I don't see it yet. I'm looking for 10 people to give $10 tonight. And, if you can't do it, that's fine. If you can give $9.95, that's fine, too. No amount's too small, no amount's too big. If we don't get it this evening, we'll take it tomorrow, the next day, the day after that. But in all seriousness, this is what allows us to do what we do. You just witnessed the information today and how it can be life-changing. And so Nisi Johnson says, great show. And thank you, Nisi, for that encouragement. Mogul Million says, great job. Thank you, Mogul. Or Patrice, I know you are. And so
we're gonna get you for that one.
Yeah. That's my homie. So Erica, what do you think? I mean, about today's show.
So I think all is well. I'm excited that we were able to share her story, and she speaks for a lot of survivors, not all survivors, but a lot of survivors. And so to be able to do that, I hope that everyone receives some information that they may not have known. Even those in her close inner circle may not have known some things. And so to be able to hear her actually say it, I think that was something that we were able to share and experience with her. So very happy to do that. Other than that, it was a great show. We had a great time. Next week, don't forget to vote if you haven't already done so.
Oh, man. Vote. Please vote. Please vote. I mean, listen.
Super Tuesday next week. So, it'll be a different show next week. So, for that.
We have purposely stayed away from political topics.
Yeah.
I just think that's the wise thing to do. We're going to continue to do that. And guess what, people? You might not know this about Erica, but Erica's going to be doing her thing on the polls next week. They'll be at the polls. Hey, Erica at the I'm sorry, the voting polls.
The voting polls.
Oh, the voting polls. Okay,
Not
my
the
bad.
single poll.
If you only knew Erica, you know how funny that would be. Just that whole thought that Erica could actually end up at the polls. The polls. Yeah.
But
that's hilarious.
Yeah. Nothing else. That was it.
That was it?
Yep.
All right. Work on your game, Erica, because I'm coming for you. I'm trying to give you a little time, you know what I'm saying, to get your courage up, to get your confidence up, and to get your skill set up. And then I'm coming to see you at the bowling alley, and I'm bringing 2 of my bowling balls.
2.
Okay. 2. For whatever the lane conditions is, I'm going to do what I do.
It's only going to take me 1. It's only going to take me 1. Put it back on. No.
Well, you know, it's only going to take you 1 ball to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, why take 2 or 3 balls to lose anyway? You know,
I'm going to use a plastic ball, as a matter of fact.
You want me to give you a handicap?
No.
Anyway, we digress. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. We'll see you next Tuesday, 7:55. Peace. Wait.